to Monday. Your Crimson Tide 3-0 on the season after the win over Louisiana Monroe last week at Bryant-Denny Stadium. You're rocking and rolling right now. Hottest show in the streets, bringing you all things Bama. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Glad to have you all join us for bringing you the show from the Magic City of Birmingham, streaming this to you on YouTube. And speaking of the channel, people, you know what to do. I shouldn't have to tell you. Hit that subscribe button right now. Smash subscribe. Get every friend, every family member, every diehard Bama fan, casual Bama fan, consumer of college football to smash that subscribe button so that way you are locked and loaded on all of your Crimson Tide news, notes, info, and entertainment. Don't forget to leave a like. Give us a thumbs up. Like the show. Run those likes past the moon. Make this your show, your network, platform, channel, and space to talk Bama. Turn all of those notifications on. Hit that little bell so you miss nothing on your favorite program. We got you covered here on Facebook and Twitter as well, streaming to you the show. But with the SEC schedule starting this week for Bama, we got a lot to get into today, a lot to talk about, and we want to hear from you, the passionate fans of Tide football. Now, you can do this by calling 205-448-1358, number to call in to let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. That daily Super Chat goes, $75. Daily Super Chat go. Appreciate all the love and support from you guys. Well, Eli, my man, it's time to get into first topic of business here, and that's, the big takeaways, the key takeaways from Bama's win over Louisiana Monroe. And I understand that there's not just a whole lot you can take from this game, but there's a few things that stood out to me. Coach Saban talked about in the press conferences leading up to the game where he wants Alabama to have those hateful competitors. I think Alabama got back to having a few of those guys out there. Need to develop some more. Can definitely use some more, but got back to having those hateful competitors out there. And there were some aspects where Alabama did clean up a bit. Now, it's got to continue to do that against Vanderbilt as it's getting ready to face Arkansas on October 1st. But there are some things that Alabama did clean up there against ULM. Since we get into the first major takeaway, how about special teams? Special teams went crazy against the Warhawks. And if Paul Bear Bryant was alive right now, he would be extremely happy. Even in his grave, he's extremely happy. Why? Because the Bear always said it starts and it ends on special teams. You got to be good on special teams. It makes or breaks you. And I think I'm right on this, Eli, but I'll fact check this. With the exception of last year, when Alabama has been able to be explosive on special teams, it's won national championships. And Saban talked about it after the presser. He challenged the guys, hey, we got to make more explosive plays on special teams. Think about this. Alabama's offense stalled a bit in that first quarter. The halftime score was 35-7, but 14 of those points came on special teams. And the job that Kool-Aid McKinstry did, averaging 27 yards a punt on 5 attempts, Alabama's starting field position was UL Monroe's 40-yard line. They started in favorable field position. They got short fields. So big ups there to Kool-Aid McKinstry, who had 168 punt return yards. Big ups there to Brian Branch, who had the 68-yard punt return touchdown. Alabama broke a 75-year-old record for most punt returns in the game. And they got 262 as a team. The record previously was 204, which goes back to the 1947 season against LSU. So big job there by the special teams. And then when you have Ja'Cory Brooks who has a knack for blocking punts. He did it last year as a freshman against Texas A&M. Ball was recovered in the end zone for a touchdown. And then against ULM, blocked a punt. Malachi Moore, Johnny on the spot, picks it up, scores from 3 yards away. And it was just really good seeing Malachi back in the end zone again. So, Will Reichert, James Burnham, I mean, they're doing their thing. I mean, for the first time ever, Bama's got a kicker in Will Reichert where he's money. You know he's not going to miss a kick. Like, there's no more swear words, no more drinking, and no more trying to understand what's going on. You know when Reichert's up the kick, it's money in the bag, put it in. And now with James Burnham, you're seeing improvement from him as a punter these last 3 weeks. He's looked good also. So to see the whole special teams coming to fruition here, that group's lethal. And if that group continues to be lethal, it's going to be fun to watch right there. But special teams stood out to me. Number 2 in terms of big takeaways, I think Alabama Eli has found the missing piece on the offensive line. Come on down, true freshman from IMG, Tyler Booker, former 5-star in the 2022 class. And Booker got first-team reps at right guard and left guard against ULM. And boy, did he dominate. Boy, did the 6'5", 332-pounder look good out there. I mean, got his hands on guys, mauling guys, great feet, strong hands, physical, nasty monster out there on the field. And Alabama's running backs had 242 yards rushing against ULM. Each one averaged over 6 yards per carry. 2 rushing touchdowns between the backs. And, after the game, Coach Saban talking about Tyler Booker said, hey, I mean, this guy's a young guy that's played extremely well. We brought him in at tackle. We moved him to guard. He's looked sensational. We view him as a guy that's competing for a starting spot against 2 other guys, the other 2, Javion Gohan and Emil Ekiyor. And Saban said, look, he's physical. Booker's physical. And we need more physical guys up front. Rodale Williams talked about it also. He said, man, Tyler can go. Book can go. I mean, he's aggressive. He's mean. He's junkyard dog nasty. He can go. Tyler Steen echoed the point to get today. Book is nasty. Book is mean. Booker is physical. So when you got 3 guys saying this about you, you're the real deal. And I remember we had Tyler Booker on the show in the summer, and he talked about doing everything he can to help this team win. And to me, Eli, I'm just saying, to me, if Alabama puts Booker on if Booker beats out Emil Ekiyor, let's just throw a hypothetical out here. If Booker beats out Emil Ekiyor, and you've got Booker and J.C. Latham, who's playing phenomenal at right tackle, for the first time in the Saban era, think about it, the right side would be stronger than the left side. We've never seen that before because it's always been the left side of the offensive line. You run off the left, right? Since Andre Smith, Barrett Jones, Cyrus Kwanjo, Cam Robinson, Evan Neal, Alex Leatherwood, Jonah Williams, you've always ran off the left side, right? With the left tackle. But with the way that Latham's playing at right tackle, and if you put Booker at right guard replacing Ekiyor, if Booker takes Ekiyor's spot, the right side of the offensive line becomes the strong side. Because Latham's playing unbelievable, and you see the way Booker has grown in everybody's mind. I mean, even if he has to play off the left side next to Tyler Steen, it'll still be great. But I'm just saying, you put Booker on that right side, him and J.C. Latham, 2 IMG kids, you got some nasty right there coming dead at you. But Booker, whether he's left guard, whether he's right guard, he's showing something to Saban. Saban is saying, we got to play him. We got to start him. And I think he's the missing piece on this offensive line. Definitely showed it last week. But continuing here with the key takeaways here, going to Bryce Young and this group of wide receivers. They've got to get on the same page. They've got to. And I know as fans and as consumers of the game, we're thinking, can't wait till JoJo Earl gets back. Can't wait till Tyler Harrell gets back. And hopefully we see both of those two against Arkansas on October 1st. A lot of you fans are going, man, I miss Jamison Williams. Man, I miss Jalen Waddle. Man, I miss John Mechie. Man, I miss Henry Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy and Devontae Smith. Man, I miss those guys. And I get the sentiment there. But I look at with Bryce and with these receivers, they got to get on the same page. I mean, it feels like Bryce has that connection going with Trayshawn Holden, and obviously so. I mean, the two guys, former roommates. The two guys did a lot of high school camps, things like that together in California. So I can see why those two have built up that camaraderie. But when you look at Jermaine Burton, I mean, he's been quiet since the Utah State game. Hasn't caught a touchdown pass since then. And remember, all throughout spring ball, Nick Saban said, Burton, this is the most consistent guy here. Transfer from Georgia. Now, I know Bryce has missed him on a couple of deep shots down the field. You got to get on the same page there with Burton. And then, the younger receivers, the Kobe Princesses, Isaiah Bonds, Kendrick Laws, got to get on the same page. There was a play against ULM. I think Isaiah Bonds thinking he's running a go route. Bryce Young saying, no, you're running a post in. And there was bad miscommunication. Ball gets picked off. And then the throw to Ja'Cory Brooks, which you got to get more repetition there with Brooks. The ball was slightly behind Ja'Cory. Now, Brooks could have still made a play on it. Didn't make a play on it. Ball got picked off there. So I think Bryce and these receivers got to get on the same page, because as talented as Jahmyr Gibbs is, and he is, but he's a running back. When your running back is your leading wide receiver in back-to-back games, that ain't good. So got to get these receivers and Bryce Young on the same page. It's going to take reps. Going to take reps, repetition, getting out there, staying after practice, a lot of those things. But they've got to get on the same page here. Fourth thing that was a big takeaway, Terrion Arnold, he's a redshirt freshman, but he's looking very impressive at corner. He's looking impressive. He has held his own. I mean, Utah State tested him out the gate, season opener, did well. Texas, Arnold comes off the bench, slows down Xavier Worthy. The production that Worthy had in the first half, didn't have that in the second half. Why? Terrion Arnold. And against ULM, had some good moments there too. Nick Saban, very confident in Terrion. A guy that was a 5-star recruit, 2021 class, Tallahassee, Florida. Good size, good IQ, highly instinctive, plays the ball well. Very secure tackler. Terrion Arnold, right now, 8 tackles on the season. Got a sack, he's got a tackle for loss, 2 pass breakups, but looking very impressive so far as a starting corner. And so, to me, the final takeaway was the tight end position. Bama's got to get these tight ends into the action more. I mean, especially with Cam Latu back, 6'5", 244 pounds. The guy's a matchup nightmare. He caught all 3 of his passes in the second quarter for 51 yards, including a 38-yard catch where he just skied over a DB and made the play. You got to work in Cam Latu more. Bill O'Brien has got to script more stuff for Cam Latu. Got to be able to do that. And then when you have a young, budding star like Amari Nyblack, I mean, this guy, 15-yard touchdown catch in the end zone, first career TD reception for him, a freak athlete from South Florida. You got to work him in. And then you also got to work in, Danny Lewis Jr., another athletic tight end. Now, I get it, Miles Kitselman, Robbie Oops, more so of your traditional blockers. But Latu, Nyblack, Danny Lewis, they can catch the ball. Very athletic players. Joe Cox, Coach Saban said it himself, one of the brightest young coaches he's ever been around. And Cox has been developing this tight end room very well, but you need for Bill O'Brien to script out these plays for the tight ends because they're bigger than corners and safeties, and they run by linebackers. Got to get these tight ends involved here in the offensive scheme. But those were just my key takeaways there from Bama's win over ULM as we get stuff set up here for Vanderbilt. But we go to our first break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. Just getting your chest warm and popping. When we get back, we go to the phone lines. We take your calls, your thoughts, your conversations, a dialogue with you, the Bama fans, coming after this.
You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace today by visiting weownthefourthquarter.com. Throw them foes up.
9 players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right, people, we're back into the action from the break on a Monday. Getting that work week and SEC schedule slate going for you correctly. Crimson Tide opening SEC play this Saturday against Vanderbilt Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. I'm yours truly, Stephen M. Smith. In my own words, touchdown, Alabama Magazine. Got to shout out my man, Big Bill. Bill from New York with that $5 donation in the Super Chats. Appreciate the love there from Bill, helping us out here on the show. Thank you, Dance and Steven there, getting down the business in the khaki pants as usual. We go to the phone lines to take your calls right now. The call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in, 205-448-1358. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Well, Stephen, it's Monday. Santa Claus has come to town and left. I do give him a little credit, though. He did look good there on the sideline with them Roy Orbison glasses on. What do you think about that? I think that Terry was styling a little bit, wasn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he was. But we have the utmost respect for the Bowden family, of course, Bobby and all them. And, you know, Coach Bryant, yeah, they were good. They were good friends, and I'm glad you mentioned that about Coach Bryant. You know, special teams always be sound in the kicking game of special teams, and you see what happens when that happens. And that was a big positive there in the game Saturday. There was no doubt about it. He'd always call up and say, "Well, you know, Bobby, I got a few extra players down here in Alabama if you need a few up there, you know." But anyway, y'all looking good. Vanderbilt's coming to town. They're scoring 42 a game. They got one of the best, probably one, I guess, kicking games. I don't know, kickers in the country, they say. Let's keep eye on them. Let's keep them intact. Take them apart there Saturday, no injuries. After we get done with Arkansas and Fayetteville, we're going to eat some barbecue and Sam Pittman to be drunk for 2 weeks. Anyway, I love all y'all. Y'all be safe. Blue Ridge Gang, y'all make this show the hottest show on the street. Y'all looking good. Bye-bye, everyone. I'll see y'all Wednesday, I hope. Bye-bye.
Appreciate Waylon calling in to start our Monday off here, and good point by him. You're taking on Vanderbilt this week, and Coach Saban mentioned the challenges that Clark May and this team presents. The Commodores are 3-1 on the year. I mean, that's something that you have to say. That's something you have to take a double take on. Vanderbilt's 3-1. Vanderbilt winning season so far, winning record. They got some very talented players, especially Joseph Belova's former Crimson Tide kicker is now at Vandy, but we take this phone call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How are you feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, David, that was Robert from Mobile.
Robert, what's going on, man?
Hey, well, the number one by the 63, and everything you said in your opening monologue was absolutely correct. We definitely need to. It didn't feel like a domination of a team that were, vastly better than. Especially in the first quarter, they struggled on offense. And like you said, it would help us a lot if Bill O'Brien was to get plays for Cameron Latou. The few plays that he got looked really good. And so he made one spectacular catch in the game that was really good. I mean, look at Georgia. Once again, we're comparing to Georgia because, Georgia is the standard for the season. There's just no question about that. Now, are they the best program? Now, are they different place Alabama as the best program? No. It's going to take years for you to feel that way about it. But the standard for who's the best team in college football changes from season to season. Usually it's Alabama. That's the standard for the best football team. And hasn't been that way for the last 2 years. And part of that, last year was most of the defense that gave us, was the reason for it. This year it's the offense. And what Georgia's doing with their tight end, making plays and creating plays for them, there you go. Alabama can do the same thing if O'Brien was creative enough to do it. And we have to get to where we can feel like we can feel the team that can beat Georgia, because Georgia is the team to beat this season. Even without them being the national champion, they would still be the team to beat. If it weren't for Stetson Bennett being Stetson Bennett for the last 4 years, this season, a lot of people be calling him the Heisman Trophy front runner. The way he's been playing over the first 3 games. The guy's been playing lights out. Hopefully Bryce can get it in gear and get in sync with the receivers downfield so that he can once again challenge Stetson Bennett for the Heisman front runner. But right now it's him. And we got to get to where we can get better offensive production. The defense is good enough to carry us to a national championship with the offense improving. If the offense stays the way it is, the defense isn't good enough to beat Georgia in the full quarter, or a lot of teams for that matter. But the offense has to have more production in order to take pressure off the defense, and that's Bill O'Brien. It's up to him. Because once again, we keep thinking, well, what if Steve Sarkisian was our coordinator, or Lane Kiffin? Would our offense be this unproductive? I don't think there's an Alabama fan in the country that would think with Lane Kiffin or Sarkisian the offense would be this flat already. So it's the coordinator, it's Bill O'Brien. If he ever wants a head coaching job, man, you're going to have to improve this offense, because everybody knows you should have enough talent to make this offense proficient with the amount of talent you have. In fact, that it isn't, and you're the coordinator, what does that tell you? Now, a lot of it has to do with the offensive line. We know that. The offensive line is where everything happens, especially in the running game. But you're not committing enough to the run, doesn't help either. Now, the running game in the second half, with the second half team looked good. Well, let's make that happen with the first squad. Why isn't it happening? So, hopefully, again, you got Vanderbilt, once again, to improve the offense. And let's see some passing downfield, accurate, and let's see more commitment to the run before we go to Arkansas, which will be our first real test. So I'm looking to see a lot more. It was a good game, but it just didn't feel like a 63-7 dominance that we would have gotten, say, back in 2020. You'd have felt that. We'd have thrown all that team into the ground, or when Tua was a quarterback. Or when Jalen Hurts was a quarterback. We had the best quarterback in the history of the program, and Bryce Young. Things ought to be happening for him and for the team. All right, man. Great talking with you.
Appreciate Robert from Mobile calling in, and that's the big thing, right? Against Vanderbilt, you want to see more improvement with the offensive line and run blocking. You want to see the tight ends used more. But if the opposition is going to play split safeties, if they're going to play 2 high safeties, you want to see O'Brien commit more to the run, force those safeties to come down to where you can get some in the passing game, or at least get some screens going to the tight end in the passing game. at least some screens to the running back in the passing game to get those offensive linemen getting downfield and getting on those linebackers and DBs. Something to free up some space and to free up some opportunities here. We take this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hi, Stephen. Bill from New York. Got a few takes on the game, bro.
Go ahead, man.
You know? Well, first of all, I want to shout out to my man, Jaheim Otis. Let me tell you something. He occupies blockers and he penetrates. And not a lot of guys, like nose-type guys, can do both, especially in the NFL. You know, like Big Sam Adams. You remember him. Everyone thought he was a nose, but he wasn't. But nobody could hold him back. You know, he could penetrate. And I think Otis is going to have a few sacks before the year is over. Very impressed. Very impressed. Now, next point, I think Saban, he thinks ahead. He's so far ahead of guys like me. What do I know? I went to Martin Van Buren High School, you know. I don't know. But Saban, I think he's preparing for like a 12-team playoff, and you know, where these guys are going to have to play a million games. I really do. And I think depth is going to matter as much, or almost as much as talent. You know, I look at this guy, Jamarian Miller, and I'm like, who? I keep track of this team pretty well. I never heard of him. I Googled him, and you know what? Justin Smith knew about him. First thing that came up was Justin Smith talking about Jamarian Miller. I was so impressed. You know, that was really cool. I think that dude is going to be like a cross between Christian Miller and Josh Jacobs by the time he gets, you know, he's got to get a little older and everything, but he's getting his time. You know, really, Stephen, bowl games don't even matter to a lot of players anymore. If these guys in the playoffs are going to be playing like 17-game seasons, there's going to be guys that, you know, after game 15, they're going to say, do I want to keep going or make $30 million guaranteed? I'm sorry. I don't want it to be that way, but that's something I predict, and that's something I believe that the coach is preparing for. The other thing I want to say is my man Arnold, he looks great. That guy, I think he's going to be a superstar. And the last thing, Vanderbilt, when people are talking about, oh, they're this, they're that. Hey, do you remember when they were 4-0 one year and their coach was talking about bring on Bama? Well, you know, all these people that talk about bring on Bama, they ain't going nowhere because we're coming. You don't have to bring us. We're coming, and we're coming for you because we're the Crimson Tide. So that's all I got, Stephen. I'd like to know what you think about my theories, though, brother. Have a great night.
Bill, I like the theory there on the college football playoff. I mean, I can see Saban preparing for a 12-team playoff. I can see him doing that, especially with the depth that he is stockpiling. And Jamarian Miller, people forget, you know, he played at Texas. He played at Tyler Legacy High School in Texas. You know, Texas legend running back right here. And this is a young man that put up over 5,000 rushing yards across his 4-year career. He's got speed, but he's got more power than I thought he had. Like, watching him play, he's pinballing off guys like Josh Jacobs. He lowered his shoulder and just struck a dude and kept going. So if Miller sticks with it, he could be very special down the road. He could be something very nice down the road. But appreciate Bill for that call there. We take this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Man, what's happening, man? What's going on? Uncle Charles, man.
Uncle Charles, what's going on, my man?
Man, I can't call it, man. Man, just enjoying Alabama Crimson Tide putting that beat down on their team to say it. Let me tell y'all something, man. Let me tell the listening public something. Let me tell you something. You know, you sitting here talking about Vanderbilt is 3-1. They finna be 3-2. It should be 1-3. So I don't know what nobody talking about. Vanderbilt is nowhere where you go play football at. That's where you go get your education at. That's where you go get your. Let me tell y'all something, man. Let me tell y'all something. This is a weird college football season. You just don't know what's gonna happen. Let me tell you something, man. Back in the day, my daddy killed a cockroach, stepped on a cockroach. And the only way you could kill a cockroach back then is that you had to have a special shoe. Those Stacey Adams. Let me tell you something. If you don't kill a cockroach with a Stacey Adams shoe, that ain't no roach. That's something else. Let me tell y'all something, man. I want to say this to all young people that got good parents. Let me tell y'all something, man. Y'all need to stay in school, man. Get your education, man. Because, see, y'all blessed. Y'all blessed. Y'all get to go to Foot Locker. Y'all get to go get designer clothes. My mama took me to the outlet. Let me tell you something. She took me in there and she said, get them shoes off that rack right there. I said, Mama, them shoes turn up in the air. She said, give me them shoes. Let me see how much they is. They $2.50. Everybody in my budget. Mama, $2.50, Mama, in your budget, Mama. Then I get to church and the preacher gonna tell me, I like your shoes. Yeah, you like them. You old and you wearing the same thing too. So what are you talking about, preacher? No, people don't understand. These kids don't understand, man. They don't understand. Back in the day when you got sick, and you had a 102-degree fever, my mama put Vicks ass all over my chest. Let me tell you something about Vicks ass. Let me tell you something. You can shit 2 doors, and you still can smell it. That Vicks ass ain't no joke. If that Vicks ass don't break your fever, you're a dead man. I'm going to tell you that right now. So kids, stay in school, eat your vegetables, and do what your mama tell you. Because let me tell you something. Children's supposed to get good grades. They don't owe their parents failure. They're supposed to get grades. Why they get up in the morning to go to school? It's rehearsal for them to go to work. This is how it goes. And that's all I got to say. Alabama nation, Alabama family, roll tide.
Appreciate Uncle Charles giving us that valuable information for our everyday life. Gotta love it. Uncle Charles calls in 205-448-1358. Number to call in to let your voice be heard on a Monday. 205-448-1358 with yours truly, Stephen Smith, and my man Eli Walker in the production studio. Well, Eli, we're going to go to this quick call. We're going to go to this call topic right here as the people are continuing to get their thoughts in. So, Alabama had 8 guys named Players of the Week by the coaching staff after the win against ULM. Offensively, it was Darian Dalcourt and Jahmyr Gibbs. On defense, you're looking at Brian Branch, Will Anderson, DeMarco Helms. Special teams was Brian Branch, Malachi Moore, Ja'Cory Brooks, and Kool-Aid McKinstry. So, Bama had those 8 guys, Players of the Week there from the coaching staff. It's kind of cool that Brian Branch got it twice. He got it on defense, and he also got it on special teams. Well, Branch had a good day. 68-yard punt return for a touchdown. He got mobbed. Eli, did you see that? Branch got mobbed, dude, by the entire team. He got to the sideline. Brother couldn't even breathe because Roydell had jumped on him. Will Anderson jumped on him. I think Dallas Turner came from the blind side and got him. Malachi Moore jumped. The whole team just jumped on Branch. But it was a great feeling for him because 3 guys from the 2020 recruiting class all scored last week. When you look at Anderson scored, Malachi Moore scored, and Brian Branch scored as well. But we take our next break here, folks, on Touchdown Down. When we get back, Bama's got a young linebacker who's starting to come into his own. Who is that young linebacker? Why should we be excited about him? We'll talk about it after this.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace at weownthefourthquarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your 4-finger bling necklace right now at weownthefourthquarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
People, we're back in, lighting you up from the break to the action. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. And before we get into next topic of conversation, guys, see this right here. Tomorrow, streaming right here, 6 p.m. Central Time, TDA YouTube channel, we got the Bama Standard. You want fun, comedy, laughs, information, conversation, Bama legends. You check out the Bama Standard tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, streaming right here on the TDA YouTube channel with Justin Riley, comedy legend Steve Brown, all SEC linebacker and Bama legend Marvin Constant, two-time national champion for Alabama and USFL champion for the Birmingham Stallions, Bo Scarborough, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith. We're going to have former Bama receiver Freddie Millens on the show tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be fun. How many jokes does Marvin poke at Freddie Millens? But it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. So 6 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. Check out the Bama Standard right there. But, I'm going to get into this. There's a young linebacker for the Crimson Tide who's starting to grow into his own, starting to really understand the system, the flow, the ebb and flow, the scheme of things, has gotten his sea legs under him, and he's flashing immense potential. And that guy is none other than Deontae Lawson, entering in his second year from Mobile, and went to Mobile Christian Academy. Our own Justin Smith, lead scouting and recruiting analyst for TDA, spent a lot of time studying Lawson. Spent a lot of time at Lawson's games throughout his recruitment process. And here's a young man that wears number 32. His game IQ is of CJ Mosley to an extent. Physicality is of Rolando McClain to an extent. But Deontae Lawson can just flat out dissect plays. Dissects plays, flies to the ball, and the last 3 games, especially this recent game against ULM, Lawson was just a heat missile everywhere. Lawson was darting everywhere, sticking his nose in, making plays, making tackles, making hits, making stops. Lawson is playing fast. He's playing with confidence. He's playing like he knows what's going on in the system. And Coach Saban talked about that today when discussing Lawson. He's playing well, playing good. He's playing fast. He's playing confident. He's playing with poise. He knows our system. He knows what to do. And it's good when, as Saban says, when you know what to do, how to do, why to do it, the importance of doing it that way, as I'm quoting Nick Saban verbatim here, when you're able to do those things and you're doing them fast and you're doing it without having to think and it's rolling off confidently, you can ball. And Deontae Lawson is out here flashing, balling. And on top of that, when Will Anderson says, hey, I like this guy. He's my locker mate. I'm seeing how he's playing. He's growing. He's excelling. He's dominating out there. He looks good out there. The future at inside linebacker, folks, it's very good. It is extremely bright. And you're going to graduate Henry To'o and Jalen Moody off after this year. But you look at Lawson, you look at Kendrick Blackshire, you look at Gion Campbell, you look at Sean Murphy, you look at Demoy Kennedy, you look at Ian Jackson, you look at some other guys coming in the 2023 class. Like, this inside linebacker position, the future it's bright, y'all. It's bright. And when you look at guys, particularly Blackshire and Lawson, these are thumpers. These are the thumping linebackers. These are the guys that you're used to having. These are the C.J. Mosley types, the Reggie Ragland types, the Reuben Foster types, the Sean Dion Hamilton types, the Rashawn Evans types that we were so used to. We were used to seeing those thumpers. They could play sideline to sideline, no doubt, but when they lay that wood got laid. That lumber got laid, right? They were ringing somebody's bell off. And then you look at Lawson and Blackshire, they bring that. So the future at this position, very bright, but it's awesome seeing the growth of Lawson, the development he's having right now, and the performance, the play he's having right now, because he's getting rotated in early in games. If you've not watched it, he's getting rotated in late first, early second quarter. You're seeing Lawson getting rotated in. sometimes third quarter, but more times now I've seen him early second quarter, late first. Lawson's getting rotated in. And we saw him throughout fall camp. What did Nick Saban and Pete Golding talk about? You know, we got some guys pushing Jalen Moody for that weak side linebacker spot. And the main guy that was brought up was Lawson. He was the main guy brought up. So this is good to see him, young man, getting this tutelage, getting this coaching, getting this development, because out of high school, we knew it was good. Out of high school, we knew he had talent, ability as an in-state prospect. But this is awesome right here, seeing him excel, getting that trust from Coach Saban, because that future at inside linebacker with him, potentially Kendrick Blackshaw with him, there'll be some nasty stuff going down there on the field for years to come. I would not want to be hit by either of those two. If I was hit by either of those two, Eli, just go ahead and prepare my tombstone right outside of the parking lot. I don't know what I would put on there, but you can prepare that right outside the parking lot. But we'll take this break right here on the show. When we get back, we return the phone lines. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. We'll be back after this.
Don't touch that dial. Call in right now as we're taking your calls up next on In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith. Brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Visit WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com now to get your four-finger bling necklace. Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to WhitwellSports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, folks, we're back in, rocking and rolling. From the break, hottest show on the streets, covering your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And we go to the phone lines to grab your calls. The call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in, 205-448-1358. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How are you feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steve, can you hear me? It's Robert from Chicago.
Robert, what's happening? I can hear you.
Hey, good. Hey, a couple comments. I want to get your opinion on something at the end as usual. I'm going to go a different way in terms of what Nick Saban is saying. You know, I have a lot of respect for him. Obviously, he's a Hall of Famer, maybe the best ever, probably the best ever. But you know, when I hear this stuff about, well, we're going to take what the defense gives us, I'm not buying that. I mean, in the past, Alabama took what they wanted. I mean, did you ever hear him say that with those wide receivers like Waddle and Judy and Jameson, and the list goes on and on? Of course not. So I think he's trying to buy time for his players to develop. But, you know, Alabama takes what they want on offense. They have the speed to do it, they have the talent to do it, and they have the will to do it. And with the running backs that they have now, they should be a lot more dynamic offensively, because just imagine if we had Gibbs last year with the speed with Mechie and Jameson. I mean, it would have been unbelievable. Almost as good as maybe with, the team before with Najee and all those guys. So that's one comment. The second comment is, you know, when we talk about the defense, you know, we need to call out a player, and he's a great player, but he's not a legendary player like he should be. He should be like a Kenny Easley, like a Ronnie Lott, like a Minka Fitzpatrick, and that's Jordan Battle. I think we got to call him out. From a leadership standpoint, he gets a C from me. He needs to be an A. He's a 3-year starter, I believe, and he should be like a heat-seeking missile, showing up to run. And he should be, you know, really championing that secondary.
And I think we spent a lot of time talking about the corners, and it sounds like, we probably landed on Arnold and Kool-Aid. But Jordan Battle is somebody that I think needs to be challenged to provide the leadership that he needs to be providing, because he has the talent, he has the skill. I think he plays very conservatively. He tries to keep the plays in front of him, but I think he needs to be a lot more aggressive. And I think for that defense to be what it needs to be, I think he's a missing link. So I'll be curious to see your comments on that. Thanks.
Robert, absolutely. And looking at Jordan Battle, and a lot of this goes back to when players are preparing for the NFL draft, when they know their draft slot is being called up, especially that junior year where the scouts start looking at your film, and these draft prognosticators start looking at your film, you wonder, should I be more aggressive or should I be passive and save myself? And that's the biggest conundrum, because, Jordan Battle in his nature is an aggressive guy. He wants to go down there and make hits. He wants to go down there and make plays, especially against the run. We just have not seen that a lot this season, and it makes you wonder, is he trying to save himself for his draft stock? I mean, could be, could not be. But we definitely want to see Battle get more involved in making those types of plays and creating those types of turnovers. So appreciate Robert from Chicago with that call there. We take this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, man, Roll Tide, man. This is Ned from Montgomery, Alabama, but I reside right now in El Paso. How's it going, man?
I can't complain, man. How we feeling over there?
Man, listen, feeling really good, man. I'm just going to chime in, man, and say, I'm going to say three things. I'm going to try to keep it down to two. Number one, Georgia looks really, really good this year so far. So far, so good. But my main concern for us is our secondary for Bama. It's our secondary, and our offensive line is looking a little bit shaky right now. To my guy that just came back, Robert from Chicago, he made some good points as far as taking what the defense gives us. Like you said, we're dogs. We can take this stuff anytime we want to. I think we still have to get a lot of more reps in with these guys and practice and learn the playbook. I'm still a little concerned also about Eli Ricks and his debut, and as far as Tyler Harrell's debut. This little concern right now. Looking at the game Saturday with ULM, man, we look pretty good, but I think with two interceptions that Bryce Young threw were like, one was good. The guy got the ball, but the other one was kind of like he kind of threw it to the defender. I'm just reaching out and saying that, man, and just really looking forward to the rest of the season to see how we shake out. We got Vanderbilt Saturday, and then after that we have the Arkansas Razorbacks, man. And I think by the time we get to them, we start an SEC play, we should be okay. And I think this thing will kind of kick itself in, man, and we can move forward and become the team that we're all expecting. Not only just the fans, but I think Saban's expecting too, man. Thank you for your call and time, man. Thanks.
Absolutely, and I think this team can grow into what we expect it to be. It's going to take some cleaning up on the offensive line. Where do you put Tyler Booker? Do you start him at left guard? Do you start him at right guard? Wherever you start him at, let him roll from there. In the secondary, you got Terrion Arnold as one corner, but who truly solidifies as the other corner? I mean, Kool-Aid McKinstry, strong punt returner. Jury is still out on him in terms of corner. Want to see Eli Ricks out there more, but we will see what happens there. Would like to see Jacquez Robinson get a shot right there, but not quite sure if he will get a shot either. But at some point, this team has got to be able to come all the way in together. Now, Tyler Harrell, we could see him back by Arkansas. That's the speculation going on. Could see him back by Arkansas. Hopefully, we can see him back by the Arkansas game. But we take this call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Oh, this is Mike from Chicago. Calling on it's like we're very critical for Bama right now. Very critical. They're 3-0. playing well. They're blowing other teams out. But for whatever reason, I understand the reason is the standard, but sometimes we got to step back and understand how high is the standard. They're playing well. I mean, yeah, are there issues? Are there small issues that are going to get worked through? And they will get worked through by the GOAT, the man who has won 6 championships. When we call it for Pete Golden's head, we're calling for everybody's head. You got the GOAT. The GOAT knows what's going on, and the GOAT will make sure everything comes together. We got to trust the GOAT.
Appreciate Mike calling in there from Chicago, putting all that trust there in Coach Saban. And I don't think it's people not trusting Coach Saban. No, people trust Coach Saban. It's when you've seen the mountaintops of Alabama football, where it's great defenses and great offenses and great special teams and just greatness all the way around, and great coaching staffs, just great all the way around. And then you're looking at the struggles here. Not saying that Alabama's just playing completely terrible, that they're playing good ball, but when you've seen mountaintop Bama, and now you're seeing kind of this version of Alabama as a fan, you're like, okay, what's going on here? Because you guys still hold on to one of the first statements that Saban ever said when he first got here at 55 years of age back in 2007 when he had brown hair. Nick Saban said, I'm going to give you a product that you can be proud of, that you can boast about, brag about, gamble about if you felt like it.
Out there being proud.
I mean, I know you're still proud of the product. I know people are still proud of the product of winning championships. I'm just saying that for some, you look at what's going on now in the night struggles versus what you had early on in the Saban era and down the years from that. You wonder, okay, what's missing here? What's missing here? What's missing there? I still think Saban gets it together, but I just feel like for some people out there, it's, okay, I remember when Bama was on this and clicking here and rolling here and just sheer dominance when teams would get off the bus, they would pee their pants because it's playing Bama. Now you look at it, teams aren't peeing their pants no more. They're excited to play Bama. Big difference between there then and now, but still think Saban finds a way to get that thing together here. But we grabbed this call. Well, we thought we had a call in here, but we're going to actually continue to get your calls in, 205-448-1358, number 2. Calling to get your voice be heard here on the show, 205-448-1358. Definitely want to hear from all of you. Just a reminder, folks, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, you check out the Bama Standard streaming here on the YouTube channel. We got the fun, we got the comedy, we got the Bama Legends. We're talking Bama football with Justin Riley, comedy legend Steve Brown, all SEC linebacker, and Bama legend Marvin Constant, 2-time national champion running back, and USFL champion Bo Scarborough. Yours truly, Stephen M. Smith. We got former Bama receiver, Bama legend Freddie Millens will be on the show. So, hey, check it out. Bama Standard tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, streaming right here on TDA's YouTube channel. But quick topic goes to JoJo Earl, of whom is progressing well in his rehab. JoJo Earl, who suffered the Jones foot fracture during fall camp, missing 6 to 8 weeks of the season, was slotted to be the starting punt returner and possibly one of the starting receivers if he did not get hurt there in preseason camp. But doing well in rehab, making a lot of progress. Saban said this week he will start dry land running. So hopefully he hits that dry land running well, and possibly, maybe, hopefully, by Arkansas, Bama could have JoJo Earl back. That's the guy with quickness, the guy with athleticism, the guy that can get open down the field as a wide receiver. But we take our final break here on the show. On Touch That Down. When we get back, we go Bama in the NFL. We talk Tua Tagovailoa, those coconuts and pineapples slanging hard, baby. Tua's cooking. Dolphins loving it? National media eating crow? We'll talk about that after this.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to stsfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to stsfootwear.com and get your All Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
Back into the action here, folks, from the break. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Appreciate you guys checking us out throughout this day here. And my man Eli Walker in the production studio doing his thing behind the scenes. And before we tidy up some loose ends here, I got to remind you of TDAwear.com. That's TDAwear.com. So for all of your swagger, sauce, drip, clothing, cultural, fashion needs, check us out, TDAwear.com. Link in the description. Get you that gear right now. Show that support for your Bama. Get your cheer on, get your Bama on, get your gear on. Go to TDAwear.com. Make this the one-stop shop, TDAwear.com. Continue to support Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and us here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine. But, Eli, normally we don't talk a whole lot about Bama in the NFL, even though we like to watch the Bama guys in the NFL. But this is the time to pay some homage here to Tua Tagovailoa. Double T in the morning, if you will. Coconuts and pineapple extraordinaire. Tua went off against the Ravens on yesterday. A duel between Tua and Lamar Jackson. Boy, what a game we saw. Final score was, 42-35, 42-38? I mean, what a game. And Lamar Jackson played well. Looked like an MVP candidate. But Tua? Oh, Tua. Tua didn't show national media. You see what happened when you give me time to heal? You see what happened when you give me weapons? You see what happened when you give me an offensive line? And do you see what happened when you give me a coach that believes in me? I will cook you up. I will cook you up. And Tua Tagovailoa, 469 passing yards, career high, 6 touchdowns, became the first Miami quarterback since Dan Marino and Bob Greasy to throw 6 touchdowns in a single game. And boy, was he layering, slinging, throwing that ball. Had 2 guys over 100 yards. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Mike Gesicki had a good game out there. I mean, Tua got big help in Miami. And all offseason long it was, he's too small, nothing special, got no wiggle, ain't athletic enough, don't got the arm. He's not a Burrow. Burrow can shoot it. He ain't a Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence can shoot it. He ain't no Justin Herbert. Herbert can shoot it. He ain't no Patrick Mahomes. He ain't no this. He ain't no that. Well, Tua Tagovailoa showed you what he was on Sunday. Boy, oh boy. What a football game that was. I mean, Miami Dolphin fans are going, Tua, we see you now. This is the Tua that was at Alabama. This Tua that came off the bench as a freshman. National championship game against Georgia. 2nd and 26 to Deontae Smith. This is that Tua. I mean, now we're seeing it. And I told folks from the jump, This man came back from a horrific hip injury. We were wondering if Tua would be able to just put one foot in front of the other and walk. That's how serious that hip injury was. I was there. It happened right in front of me. I saw it happen. So, to go from that to being able to have the determination to work his way back and push himself back to be able to play. And then the Miami Dolphins finally going out there and spending some money drafting players to help him. Drafting Jalen Waddle. Getting guys like Raheem Mostert. Getting Edmonds at running back. Getting Cedric Wilson in free agency. Go out there and get a Tyreek Hill. Go out there and get a Terry and Armstead in free agency. Putting weapons around Tua. I've always said this. Brian Flores was never sold on Tua. In the Brian Flores era, Tua looked broke, busted, disgusted, depressed, had no type of joy on his face. Mike McDaniel is on FaceTime with Tua as he gets hired, and he says, I'm going to make you a star. From the moment Mike McDaniel set foot on South Beach, his goal was, I am going to give Tua everything and make him the man. Affirm him as the man. And McDaniel has followed his script to a T. He's done it. He has done it. And you look at Tua now, laughing more, smiling more, joyful more, having more fun, talk with confidence. Tua talking with some swag, with some trash talking him now. I've never seen Tua trash talk before. Tua got some trash talking him now. Why? McDaniel. When you have a coach that believes in you, it makes a world of difference, y'all. Makes a world of difference. And I hear national talking heads saying, but he was throwing the wide open receivers. There was busted coverage all over the field. The Ravens didn't have all their y'all look. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill are Maseratis. Just give him the ball. It don't got to be perfect. Give him the ball. It don't matter. Put the ball in their vicinity and let them handle it. These are two Maserati, Lambos, Bugattis. Just get them the ball in every way, shape, or form and let them go to work. And that's exactly what Mike McDaniel was telling Tua to do. Get these cats the ball, let these jokers run free, and you get the yardage off of that. And you get the big plays off of that. That final drive, Eli, Tua took the team down the field, athletically gets out of the pocket, fires a dart to Jay, which, by the way, Jalen Armour Davis has great coverage on this play. Just a great throw by Tua, great catch by Waddle, touchdown. Tua's hyped up, as he should be. As he should be. Because this is how it's supposed to have been for him. Having the weapons he needs, the talent around him, and the coach that believes in it all. And now he's got it. And now people are starting to see and understand, okay, Tua is good. Okay, Tua is legit. The potential for him to be legit, it is right there. So, happy for Tua. Pumped up for him. Mac Jones won also. Patriots beat the Steelers. But I was just pumped for Tua because I was watching him throw the football yesterday. I was like, my God, that's a good throw. He was making good throw after good throw after good throw, laying the ball in there, putting it on the money. Very happy there for Tua Tagovailoa. But as always, Bama Nation, you want the best in news, notes, information, entertainment material on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store, if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store, if you got the Android phone. For your audio needs, check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, your man, I'll be back on Wednesday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Remember, Bama fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link found in the description. If you're trying to get the fresh edition, print edition of TDA the magazine, here's what you do. You go to touchdownalabama.com, you click join, become a member or a subscriber today. That link in the description. You're trying to get the 4-finger bling necklace, 4-finger bling jewelry, courtesy of our guys at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. That link in the description as well. But gotta give a shout out to you guys, the outstanding fans of Bama football. All the conversation, the love, the dialogue, the phone calls. Appreciate you guys for what you do. Gotta show some love to my man, Eli Walker, in the production studio, handling business. This man handling business, taking care of it. I gotta call him Alexander Shannara of the production right now. I mean, John, you see the man, John, you see the man. We got young Alexander Shannara, Eli Walker in here on your side, getting this thing done. But until next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Sure to continue doing the right thing, fun thing, good thing, smart thing, legitimate thing. To not be bored, getting that schoolwork done also. Get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself and protect the loved ones around you. Remember, Bama Standard. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, streaming right here on TDA's YouTube channel. Get there. Till next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. You've been listening. They're my own words.